The country Nigeria turns 58 Monday 1st of October 2018 as an independent entity. Given the number of years it is taking to build a solid nation, a lot of people would seem not to be impressed with the way the country has fared over these years.
Well, I think that our growth has been up and down. There have been moments and years where we have experienced significant growth, and in many years things have declined and dwindled, especially the more recent years of our history.
Thinking about Nigeria at 58, I just asked myself, if Nigeria was a man, a woman at 58, what would you expect from a 58-year-old man or a 58-year-old woman? You expect a level of maturity, a level of wisdom in doing things from experience. So really, I don't think we should be where we are now. We should have gone past all the things that we are still struggling with, corruption, power issues, and all the ills in the society.
Well, I mean, clearly, I think it is an anomaly for anyone to wish us happy independence. If anything, it's a sorry independence. You cannot look at countries that were or are still under British colonial rule and compare them to Nigeria and agree that Nigeria has made significant strides. You do not see the same levels of insecurity, the valueness of the lack of value for human life, the abuse of the rule of law, and so on and so forth. Look at countries that are currently under British colonial rule, some of the island nations, and you will not see them plagued with the problems that we have in Nigeria. So clearly, Nigeria has squandered its independence. I think we have moved from Western colonialists to local scavengers.
This Nigerian is, however, hopeful that the country would get better soon, despite the many issues confronting it.
That we have a nation we can still call our own is something that we need to congratulate ourselves about. Are we headed in the right direction? I would say yes. There are a lot of challenges on the way. There are a lot of failures on the part of our leaders. There is a lot in terms of infrastructure deficits and all of that. But we must assess ourselves against the background of where we're coming from, how old we are as a nation, and some of the experiences that we have gone through. People look at Nigeria and instinctively want to compare Nigeria to America. The American Constitution is over 200 years. It is less than 20 years since we have had an unbroken chain in democracy. Less than 20 years. It is only next year, May, that will be 20 years. So this is a factor that we must be conscious of as we assess ourselves.
There are suggestions on how the country can make progress.
For me, the starting point should be that religion should play the role it ought to play. And anybody, I repeat, anybody, no matter how highly placed the person is, that is perverting religion to pursue any motive other than the motive of preserving human life or preserving good behavior should be dealt with accordingly through the channels appropriate for that. Until we start doing that, pastors and imams will continue to plunge this nation into deeper crisis as we move ahead.
We need to have intelligent, educated, compassionate human beings. I'm making a distinction between human beings and politicians because most politicians are inhuman. We need to come to a point where we elect people who have human compassion. I will give you a quick illustration about how bad governance is displayed. 2 days ago, Air Force jets crashed, they collided over each other and crash landed in Abuja here. And somebody lost his life. Why? They were rehearsing for an aerial display to celebrate Independence Day. Now somebody has been orphaned because of that. Was that our priority as a nation? Those Air Force jets cost millions of dollars. We are actually in the process of trying to acquire Air Force jets. And then we went and used the ones that should have been at the war front, trying to save our nation, to do a display for one day. And people died.
Citizens should rise up to ask questions, to play their role, to hold leaders accountable, to ensure that the right thing is done. Put aside religious sentiments, put aside ethnicity, put aside all those areas or those, platforms that tend to divide us. We all have a responsibility to move this nation in the direction in which we desire.
Certainly, the mixed feelings say a lot about the expectations of Nigerians from their country. But while these expectations continue to receive expression, the hope is that diligent discharge of the duties each individual owes the country will turn current complaints into strides towards a better life. Ninya Solomon, reporting for Kaftan TV.